Hey, so welcome into Philadelphia Walks PTSD. My name is Sharon Cole, or Cole, whatever you want to refer to me as. No big deal. As I say in my spiel, um, hippo, rhino, rat, pig, horse, dog, cat, moon cheese, whatever. Doesn't matter. I've heard it all before. In creepy ways, more so than in a high school way, although it's still high school-ish what these people do, and don't care. So that's about it. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me, as I say. But the truth is, words do hurt people. And I don't know why they came up with this saying other than to try to toughen people up. But usually toughness comes, I guess, when you're a lot older, but people are hurt all the time. You could be the toughest, football player or baseball player on earth. And at 60 years old, maybe your wife leaves you or something, and that, whatever someone says will hurt you. I mean, it's, we have to take, I guess, expressionisms and stuff like that, all these little phrases with a grain of salt. It's one way to try to outdo those who try to hurt us, I guess. So anyway, here we are on the actual day 74 of my one video each day, 365-day campaign, trying to raise money from people big and small, short and tall, and people with deep pockets who would understand what this is. I'm hoping they hear me, but I would also love to get donations from people who understand what it is and maybe they didn't participate, or people who feel guilty and did participate. It is day 74 on Wednesday, March 15, 2023. Yesterday, I kept, in my mind, I kept thinking it was Wednesday for some reason. Like, I looked at my calendar and I'm like, okay, right, today's day 74. And later in the day, I realized, wait a minute, yesterday was Tuesday. We had the farmer's market here that comes in every Tuesday. But it was a big deal to me that all day long in my mind I kept thinking it was Wednesday, because I have a special dog walk on Wednesday night, and I actually was about to show up to a dog walk last night, and then realized at the last minute, with sort of like encountering the owner of the dog, that it was actually Tuesday. It did bother me because whatever happens in this harassment, if you will, in this sort of experience of being a targeted individual of something that's out of this world and extraordinary. I don't think I'm extraordinary. I just know the experience is extraordinary, and I don't know who winds up in these situations. So it's extraordinary in the sense that someone would actually be selected. The people who perpetrate this stuff, they're not extraordinary at all. But point being, leading up to 2011, I met a whole bunch of people, and I thought I was enjoying life because I was involved in healthy things, running, volunteering with the Sapphire Fund, volunteering with Team Philadelphia for the LGBT community, participating in dragon boat racing. And I was meeting people, and I thought that I finally found like a place. It's sort of a thing like if maybe you move away from your hometown and you seek out new networks of people, and you hope to find your peeps, if you will, or a place to belong and participate in the community, if you will. But leading up to that, I met quite a few people who appear to have been involved in, what I believe they were involved in whatever kicked off the fourth Monday of January 2011. I believed I'd be murdered in my apartment. And if that weren't enough, the phone lines to my mom and aunt's house had been cut so that when I tried to reach out to them, I waited till the next day during daylight hours to reach out to my mom, and they were living together, my mom and aunt. And I got, we're sorry, the phone number you tried to reach have been disconnected. So I had to go a roundabout way to reach them through a cousin, my sister, who contacted a cousin, who gave us the cell phone number to our aunt. My mom and aunt rarely use cell phones back then. But anyway, found out their phone lines had been, somehow got disconnected, and they had the phone guy out there that day. But anyway, long story short, the games commenced, and a lot of people who I had met in the couple of years leading up to 2011 appeared to, they were playing games and doing like mind tricks, and they would reverse things. So if you call someone saying, "Oh my God, this totally whack thing happened last night, and I'm freaked out all over the place," you know, what do you what do you think happened? Or it would be something like you would expect friends to react in a way that's supportive and validating, like, "Oh my God, that's uncool. I wonder what it was," or "I hope you're okay. If you want to come over and hang out, grab some dinner. We'll be making dinner if you feel safer just hanging out with us tonight," or whatever. The people I had met who I saw as fairly good friends reacted in the opposite way. "Oh my gosh, I hope you get the help you need. Do you think maybe it was just your perception of what happened?" And it's like, are you kidding? Would you say that to your daughter who was gang raped? So these people are very good at deflecting blame like no other, big time. It's a serious problem that these people do this. And these people, I don't know where they get their knowledge, but they have made it a career to be criminals on a more sophisticated level than your regular street runners or what have you. They know the law inside and out, and enough to know what they can get away with. And they will actually orchestrate things every single minute of every single day. This city was chock full and stocked full of people who played all kinds of cat and mouse games, who set up scenarios on every street corner, anywhere a dog, and I was a dog walker at the time, which was a temporary fix to me wanting to sort of possibly move from Philadelphia. I had planned to move from Philadelphia, and I was really looking at the Pacific Northwest, and I had enough connections there that it seemed feasible at the time. But anyway, point being, wherever I went, I was trapped by a web of people who just constantly play games to the point where your brain is so preoccupied with trying to figure out just how to survive and be resilient every second. Clients, I feel like I was human trafficked through dog walking, and there's a very good case for that, because these people kept me trapped in a situation of having to deal with all their problems. They had all kinds of issues or scheduling or that change. It's hard to explain. It's way worse, showing up and alarms are going off and me trying to figure out, should I take this dog with me, I'll clear across to another dog walk because I can't figure out how to turn off their alarm. They gave me the wrong number, code or what have you. And every day there had to be something. It wasn't like there was a peaceful day. So every day it had to be, well, this person's smoke alarm went off. This person's door alarm went off. These people, this happened over at these people's house. It is limitless and infinite, the ideas these people come up with. I could go on for years. And even today, I'm kind of in a situation where I'm walking dogs in a certain area for one person temporarily while they're healing from injuries. But the reason she has an injury is because people come out of their doors constantly to give treats to dogs walking. It's in the weird, bizarre, beyond Truman Show. It's like these people have no life on this one particular block, Smedley, here in Center City. And it's like you want to like people and be kind and friendly, but they orchestrate so much that it just becomes a thing where you have to come home, you have to unwind and try to, then it's like, I want to be able to move out of Philadelphia and have just a normal life somewhere. Is it possible to do that and work amongst people who are basically normal professional people without timing people, without orchestrating? And back to the timing thing in the day, it did bother me that I forgot that somehow I thought it was Wednesday all day yesterday. I do have a missing time scenario from years ago in 2017. My dog walk started to dwindle to the point that I was very concerned and worried. And then at some point I let go of two clients, one of whom I'd had for many years, she and her husband, who had a puggle named Winnie. And I walked dogs for them, as well as at times the brother and sister-in-law of, we'll say, someone named Blair. And Blair and her husband had one child, and the brother and sister-in-law had two. And it ran through my mind before I left dog walking. It ran through my mind that, I wonder, I just kind of thought, I wonder if Blair is kind of somewhat jealous or wanting to have a second child because her sister-in-law and her brother wound up with two. And I didn't think much more of it because I'm used to seeing people pregnant. A lot of people are home, even though I walk dogs, and stuff like that. So anyway, after I left, I ran through my emails, say flash forward 5, 6 months, and I see an email that I never opened in one of my email accounts. Now, I had forwarded emails from that old account to a new account, and I'm wondering if I had opened it in the new account and didn't realize it. But anyway, in the old account, I saw an email that I hadn't checked, and I was like, what is this? They're announcing the birth of, Dylan or what have you. So I open it, and it appears Blair had had a second child. The thing is, she would have been pregnant while I was walking her and her husband's dog. My concern is I do not recall her being pregnant at all with a second child. I know she had one child. I know she and her husband Andy had one child, a daughter, and it bothered me a lot because I don't remember her being pregnant at all. So either these people created and backdated or somehow created some sort of situation where they pretended to have a son, or there's a huge chunk of missing time in my brain, which really, really bothers me. That the trauma is that bad in my case. It's hard for me to explain everything that was going on because it sounds lighter here. It sounds like, it's death by 10,000 cuts. You have to be in it. And most people who experience life-altering situations, they know you have to experience it to know how bad it is. I don't know what it's like to be, say, a cancer patient. I don't know what it's like to be, so forth and so on. But it's very disturbing if there's missing time because it feeds on the fear of, well, what was going on during that time? Why don't I remember her being pregnant? And could someone stick someone on in a courtroom who has no clue what happened and is like, I don't remember anything, and then try to make them out to be some sort of criminal? Or like, I actually have had to deal with very serious fears because of what these people put on me. I've whistleblower-like harassment like no other on top of 1,000,002 games. But yesterday when I forgot that it was Tuesday, like I thought it was Wednesday all day, it really did bother me that I thought it was Wednesday when clearly it was Tuesday. We had the farmer's market. I have little things where it's like, oh yeah, it's Tuesday, there's farmer. And I went on about the day as if it were Wednesday, getting ready to walk a dog that I'm scheduled to walk this evening, who happens to be for someone who's going to a private viewing of his partner who passed away. So, and even that is a little bit like shocking, just because I just walked a dog for this guy, kind of a newish client, and all of a sudden his partner passes away, and it's like, it's too much. Like there's too much stuff going on, and that makes the brain second guess and wonder about reality. So anyway, that's it. I'll just end it there. That's the pregnancy thing is a biggie. I can't believe, and I have to go around life wondering if they actually have a son, if they were willing to lie about it, or who messed up whose brain so that I can't remember and I don't run into them. And if I did run into them, it would be orchestrated. That's how weird it gets. And they would have, maybe they would have a son with them to prove or to make it seem like they actually had a son in addition to their daughter. Or wait, was Dylan supposed to be a female name? This is how confusing it gets. They might have had a second daughter and named her Dylan. That's so, so on top of that, their second child, I don't know if these people actually had a second child. And I have to go around life wondering, and I could, even if I were to call them up and say, oh my gosh, I won't because so much has transpired, but just say I had the comfort level of being able to call them up. There are people out here willing to stage their houses to make it seem like they have a second child. That's how confusing it gets. So I don't know if they're messing with the court system and the government system, or trying to sharpen people's brains, or trying to get away with something. I just know I was tortured and slaughtered by, I want to say millions of people, but tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of people. I'm not exaggerating, because this is the course of, 14 years leading up to 2011 and since 2011. And this includes a lot of walking dogs, even going back and forth to New York to get an MFA in hopes of escaping whatever it was. And also Florida. And it's me crossing paths with tons of people, and never ending, never ending. I cannot believe how bad this was. And it is as if people can be puppeted even at a bus station. And, say like, instead of Greyhound, say I use Bolt or the other one, Megabus. And just, anyway, I could go on for hours with how bad this was and how many games are played and what, is witnessed. And it's disturbing. And I also wanted to say really quick, Philadelphia is a very diseased, disoriented, and disturbing city. If you want to talk about a virus, this city has it bad, big time. It is disturbing that people are willing to carry out what they do on a daily basis, minute by minute, trapping someone into their web or their layer of lies and confusion. And I had a second child. We're announcing our second child, and they never had a second child. That could be part of it. Could be. It's disturbing that they're willing to do this. I don't know what they gain from it. It is an issue. I've wondered, like, what do they gain by constantly agitating people to the point of like, and they will feed off of people's insecurities and everything else. And so whatever you're insecure about, in my case, I wasn't as social. I could only handle so much social stuff before I get overly flooded. So they would flood me with that and exaggerate it and make it, oh, Sharon's not social enough, But if you were a social person, they would do the opposite. They would go crazy with, well, you're not studious enough. You need to spend some time alone. You need to learn what it's like to be independent. You need to not, rely on husbands or wives or they would go in the opposite. Whatever the opposite of you is, they will work that big time. So anyway, my next video, I'll talk about how easy it is to train like squirrels and dogs and stuff like this, to the point of, do these people work for the movies? And check out Johnny Juicer. I love Johnny Juicer because he helps people try to get on the path of a better diet and feeding their body better things. He does show that he can train a squirrel, and he has a dog named Noah, a Yorkshire Terrier. But even here in Philadelphia, they will use those tactics to mess with people. He has a squirrel for cute videos to show you how to eat naturally. Here in Philly, they will use dogs. And the other day, a squirrel came by, and I know someone did it on purpose. They can train them to the point of getting you to trip up or make your life miserable. Okay, so that's how positive Philly is. Okay, thank you so much and have a great day.